Well, good morning to you all, good morning. Monday, 25th of March, 2024. Monday of Holy Week. And it's that time of morning, the birds are all chirping away. I've had my second cup of tea already, so there's no excuse for not getting on and doing something. Now, what I do on a Monday morning, or possibly very late on a Sunday night, is I put the rubbish out. Now, there's a funny thing about rubbish. You tidy it all up and you put it all in plastic sacks, and you tie the plastic sacks up and you put them where the refuse collectors will come and find them. And you go back indoors and you put the kettle on for your second cup of tea. And then, of course, you see that you missed something and it should have gone in the bin. These annoy me intensely. Here, our water that comes out of the tap is drinkable. It's declared safe. I've got a certificate somewhere indoors that says that not only is the supply safe, but so also is my plumbing that delivers it to the tap. But the water here has a high limestone content, and so many people buy bottled water. So they've paid for water already, but then they buy bottled water to use in the kettle, maybe in the iron or things like that. And we end up throwing these things away. Yeah. Or in the case of this one, not. And I actually get quite annoyed and angry about the amount of rubbish that we produce. You know, self-included. I'm not pointing fingers at you. I'm admitting that I'm as much at fault as everybody else. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to do something stupid with this bottle. I've been looking at other people's methods of growing leeks, and there's a lot of brilliant ideas out there about how it can be done. And I actually had a sensible conversation about leek growing yesterday with Nicole. She, in her youth, worked hard as a market gardener. She even had at one time a Jersey cow and made her own butter and things like that. And she's very proud of the fact that despite being French, she had a Jersey cow. And she said a few things to me yesterday about growing leeks and getting much better leeks than I do, which actually lined up with some comments and some observations on some other videos, other YouTube channels that I've been looking at. So I'm going to go and do things with this bottle and see if we can't grow a handful of really impressive leeks rather than the leeks that I'm happy with. Okay, well, all I've done, I've cut the water bottle in half, I've drilled 4 holes in the bottom of it, I have filled it with some compost. That's all I've done so far. I've gone and found my remaining Musselburgh giant seeds. Now, what Nicole was talking about was leave the leeks in the pot until they are as thick as your finger. Her fingers aren't quite as thick as mine, but we get the idea. Now, to do that, we don't want to put a million seeds in here. So I'm only going to put 5 or 6, and we will leave them. We'll let them do their thing until they are a goodly size plant. We'll give it a go. It's a small sample. But here's the thing. All of you live in a house. All of you have got windowsills. All of you throw away plastic milk bottles, water bottles, whatever. What you could be doing is growing a little bit of food in them. Could do. Your neighbours will think that you're mad, but hey. Something that I love eating, but I don't think you can be in France unless you eat haricots. I shall be planting an awful lot more than 10, but I'm going to start these in pots and then put some others straight into the ground. These are absolutely beautiful to eat, but I shall mix them in with some green ones, and yeah, that will be good. For those of you that have never planted haricot, you know, it's just a little bean like that. So I've put some dirt in some pots, which I didn't buy, by the way. I make that point. They are commercial pots, but I didn't buy them. We'll make some holes and get these started. Ooh. Well, yes, right. I'd had this running. I had run it backwards and forwards on this patch. I had put it out the way while I threw horse manure and soil enricher on it, and because it was running, my house guest this week said, would you like me to video that while you do it? And you saw what happened. It started and then it stopped. Now, my thinking is that it's got an intermittent electrical fault on it. And those of you that know about intermittent electrical faults, you know, just think about this. It was running, then it wasn't running. And when I did the old dodge of taking the spark plug out, which incidentally is an inch across the flats, when I took the plug out and tested for spark, I'd got no spark on an engine that 10 minutes before had been running. In truth, that HT lead has seen better days. There's a possibility of condensation in the points, or the points being dirty, or all manner of issues with points and HT lead. And, you know, pulling the recoil starter off to get into the points is rather longer a job than I wanted to be doing today. So I've elected that we're going to leave that until next week to look at. Yeah, but the job needed finishing. So how do you shame an old powerful machine into starting? You know, got to use a bit of psychology with this, haven't you? So I pulled out the young whippersnapper, and having pulled that out and put it there, I pulled this through again, but yeah, she wasn't having it, wasn't going to run. So I finished the job up and down with that machine. That machine is only about half as powerful as the Agria, but as I'd already broken the back here with the big machine, that machine coped quite nicely with just stirring everything up. What I then did, I used this tool, which I'm going to call it a hand plough. I don't know what it's properly called, but that's a really handy tool for just creating some what should we call them, trenches if you like. And I've seeded it with yellow haricot there and up to there, and then I've seeded it with green haricot there, and used my trusty ratto just to pull all the dirt over the haricot. So there we are. That's an end to machinery stuff for today. Next week we'll do some investigation on the Agria. I know it can't be serious. I am concerned about how early that plug was. Yeah. See, the chap I got it from said that it burns oil, and he's not wrong. But he reckons that rather than putting the mix that's recommended, he always slopped a bit more oil in it. Yeah. But you know, it's an old machine, maybe the rings are a bit naff or something. But I suspect an electrical fault. Anyway, haricot are planted there. That's not the final job for haricot for me, but that will give me something to eat in summer.